What's up guys, this is Evan with Backwoods Adventure Mods. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're in the middle of an install or you're about to install our new Sprinter Scout Pumper. Now, in the full install video, we've given you some measurements on where to put marks so you can make your cut. Because the bulk of the cut's really simple, you'll just follow this line, but from here on down, we gave you some measurements. To make it a little simpler, we've got this new CNC cut template. It's reversible and it uses multiple points on the van to ensure that it puts your cut in the exact right spot. This side, and then flip it over and use it on the other side. Now, this one you'll see a few jagged edges on this particular one in the video just because our blade was a little bit dull, but it is a CNC cut part. It should be nice and crisp when you get it, and you'll have some perforated lines in here that will help you fold it and make it just the right shape. We're going to be doing this test on Ty's van today. Ty already had a bumper on, so we have this sacrificial bumper that we threw on it to make this video. So if you notice that it's missing some hardware, there's some wires hanging down, that's just because we threw this bumper on it to make this video right now. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can leave the bumper on the van and cut it, or you can take the bumper off. There's pros and cons each way. We designed this product to be done with the bumper on. That makes it the quickest and simplest install possible. The only downside is if you have parking sensors, you have to be very careful not to nick that wire. This van doesn't have the parking sensor, so it's no big deal. The downside to doing it off the van is it's extra effort to take off the grill and bumper, and then you really need somebody to hold the bumper still, because if you cut it, it tries to dance around, move around on you, and it just makes it more difficult to get an accurate mark. So we're gonna do it on the van. If you do have the parking sensors, you're gonna have to take out this side anyway, as you'll see in the full video, and I just wanted to point out a couple quick tips or tricks to make that easier. The def tank is behind this side, so getting your hand in there is tricky. So I like to take out the little push pins that are along here, and there's one hiding straight up. I've already done that. You just pop this out, and you can get your hand in here all the way to where both parking sensors are. There'd be one here and one somewhere around this area. It might be worth your time to get under the van, undo the rest of the little clips, and just remove the harness. But if you choose to leave it in place, which is what I did in the video, just know that it runs right along this level. So when you're making this cut here, just don't plunge in very far with your cutter. It's not right up against the back of the bumper. It's just worth noting. Just be careful. Anyway, now let's get to it. All right, I'll go over some of the different locator points we have. Before I put it on here, I'm gonna take these perforated lines and just crease them a little bit to make this fit a little bit better. So there's the upper one and the lower one. And then the first one you'll bend down. The second one you'll bend back up. And that'll make sense when I lay it in here in just a minute. So this is pretty obvious. It goes in here all the way into that little inset area. This edge here is designed to be butted up against this license plate mount. So behind here, you can see these two body lines will line up with these two creases. This sharp edge here and the one on the bottom will line up with the actual edge of the material. So we're gonna work from the inside outwards. So you can feel when you're doing this if that crease is on the body line, and we've got it butted up all the way here. And this is nice and flush at the top here. So you'll tape that down, put a few pieces of tape just wherever, top, bottom, and then we're gonna come over here, kind of massage that over so it gets in place, and stick this in this little groove. Add a few pieces of tape, add tape, then we're gonna kind of work our way down and out. So at this point we'll be taped all along here, smooth it this way, stick a piece of tape. You'll notice these relief cuts in this template are designed to let this area join together since we're on a curved spot. And the same thing down here. Get a piece of tape. Lastly, there's a hole in the bottom of the template, and it's gonna align with the hole in the bumper here where the splash shield bolted in, this little guy right there. So get under there and make sure you've got your hole lined up just right, and then tape that. Once you have it all taped in place, then it's just grab your marker and mark along your edge. And this edge continues all the way down to the end. You'll see a dotted line. After you've used this hole to locate it, you'll fold this piece out of your way so that you can continue that mark all the way to the end. Some of you watching this, this may not be any big deal, cutting into a bumper. Some of you, this may make you a little bit more nervous. You may be a little apprehensive about it. I've done this a bunch of times, even this particular product. So we've got Mo here today. If you've called in to Backwoods, you've most likely talked to Mo. He does all his own installs for his personal vehicles, but he hasn't done this exact install. So he's never done this before. So to show you how simple this is, Mo's gonna do it.
Here we go. I'm just gonna tear off a few pieces of tape because it looks like I'll need a few. Get that top line butted. All right, got my first pieces tape, so I'm gonna start massaging it like Evan said, kind of following the seam, taping as I go when I get it to where I like it. Like I said, first time, so hopefully these lines are right. If not, I can come back and do it again.
I'd probably go underneath next and make sure the hole lines up.
Okay.
The hole in the template is square and the hole in the bumper is round, so you have to do a bit of a best fit operation.
Yeah. I got it taped. I feel like I'm over my hole. I kind of have a little wave here, but I mean, it's still a straight line. I'm not gonna ask you what you think, because you ain't here.
So I think this looks really good. It's just as designed. One thing I didn't say earlier, I think I said it in the main video, but after you make your mark with this, I always recommend you cut shy of your line. Cut it a lot shy if it's your first time, and if you're nervous about it, cut it a 1/4 inch shy and test fit the bumper. It's better to have to do that 2 or 3 times than it is to have a bad cut. But this should be the design that if you make your mark and cut right up next to your mark, it should be right where it needs to be. But better safe than sorry.
I'm gonna cut on the inside of my line. And the one thing I would probably do when I was done is refer back to our first video just to get some measurements and make sure that my template was semi square as I thought it was. So I'll take some measurements right now after I pull this template off and make sure that all my numbers kind of jive out with what Evan said on the first install video. All right, so we pulled the tape measure. All our lines are right where they should be. That being said, I'm still gonna cut on the inside of my line because I can't grow plastic back. So better safe than sorry. We can pull this off, cut again, trim what we need. But here we go. Hopefully I'm not fired. All right, I feel good about this side, so you know what that means.
Okay, so as you can see, we have both sides cut. Mo did a great job. If you zoom in here, you'll see that this final cut is just inside the black line, so he didn't end up cutting too far inboard of the line. Actually looks great. We're just going to clean it up and keep moving forward. So at this point, jump back over to the full installation video. Thanks for watching.